Welcome to SteadyStep English. We're going to talk about something that I think almost everyone has felt.
Oh, for sure.
It's that feeling when you've studied English for years, you know all the grammar rules, but then you need to speak and nothing comes out.
Your mind just goes completely blank. It's so frustrating. You memorize all these words, but in a real conversation, they just disappear.
Exactly. So today, we're going to talk about why that happens, and more importantly, what you can do about it.
And it's not about memorizing more. It's about using your brain in a smarter way, a more cognitive way.
The cognitive approach. Let's start there. What does that word cognitive actually mean in this context?
It just means using your brain to think and understand, to solve problems.
So not just repeating words like a parrot.
Exactly. It's about being an active learner. And a really important idea here is something called a schema.
A schema. That sounds a little technical.
It does, but the idea is simple. A schema is just a mental framework, or you could think of it as a pattern in your mind.
Okay, like a pattern. Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's take the word house. Many people just memorize the translation. House means this in my language.
Right, a weak connection.
A very weak connection. But with a schema, you connect the word house to your idea of a house.
You mean my own house?
Yes. Think about your own house right now. The rooms, the furniture, the feeling of being home.
Okay, I can picture it.
When you connect the new English word house to that rich mental picture, that existing schema, the connection is much, much stronger. You're connecting new information to old information.
I see. So you have to be active. You can't just listen and hope it works.
You can't. If you hear a story, you should try to tell it again in your own words. If you learn a new word, you should try to make a sentence with it right away.
That makes sense. But this leads to a very common question, I think.
I think I know what you're going to ask.
Don't I need to move to London or New York to really learn? Don't I need immersion?
Ah, yes. The great myth of immersion. So many people believe this.
That you have to live in an English-speaking country.
But the truth is, immersion is not a place. Immersion is a behavior.
A behavior? What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Your brain doesn't know if you're in a coffee shop in Sydney or in your bedroom. It only knows the information it receives.
So if you change the information you receive, you can create immersion anywhere.
Exactly. You can create an English world right in your own home.
How? What are some practical ways to do that?
A simple one is to change your digital world. Your phone, your social media. Change the language to English.
That's a good idea. Most of us spend hours on our phones every day.
Right. Another tip is to read, but not textbooks. Read something you actually enjoy. Maybe just 5 pages a day.
Just 5 pages. That sounds manageable.
It's about being consistent. And there's one more tip, which feels a little strange at first. You need to create a necessity to speak. You need to make it important. So you can talk to yourself.
Talk to myself.
Yes. Narrate your day. When you're making coffee, you can say, I am pouring the water. Now I am adding the coffee.
It feels a little funny, but I see the point. You're forcing your brain to find the words in real time.
You are, without the pressure of having another person listen to you.
And that pressure is a huge topic. The mindset. I know I sometimes stay quiet in meetings, even when I have something to say.
Because you're afraid of making a mistake.
Yes. I'm afraid my grammar will be wrong.
This is a very common problem. It's called perfectionism. And it creates what we can call a vicious loop.
A vicious loop. How does it work?
It starts with the fear of making mistakes. So because you are afraid, you stay quiet.
Okay. So you don't speak.
And because you don't speak, you don't get any practice, you don't improve.
Which makes me feel frustrated.
Exactly. And that frustration makes you even more afraid of making mistakes next time. The loop just continues.
So how do we break out of that loop?
You need to change your goal. The goal should not be perfection. It should be excellence.
What's the difference?
Perfection is about you. It's about not being embarrassed. Excellence is about the message.
So did the other person understand my idea?
Yes, that's the real goal. Your colleagues at work, they care about your ideas. They don't care if your grammar is perfect. They want to hear what you have to say.
That's a really helpful way to think about it. I remember you mentioning a story about the basketball player Kobe Bryant.
Yes. His advice for dealing with mistakes was very simple. He said, get over yourself.
Get over yourself.
It means stop focusing on your own embarrassment. Focus on fixing the problem. Focus on the next action. It takes the focus away from your ego.
Okay, but what about that feeling? That feeling that you're a fraud, that you don't belong in that meeting because your English isn't good enough.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
That uncomfortable feeling is actually a good sign.
How is feeling uncomfortable a good thing?
Because it means you are growing. You are stretching your abilities. If you were completely comfortable, you probably wouldn't be learning anything new. That discomfort is a sign of progress.
That's a powerful way to look at it. But in a stressful meeting, I still need a tool to help me feel more confident.
This is where having a structure can be a lifesaver. A structure.
Yes. A simple framework called what? So what? Now what?
Okay, tell me more.
When you need to share an idea, you just follow these 3 steps. First, what? You state the fact. For example, what? Sales are down 10%.
Simple and clear.
Then, so what? You explain why it is important. So what? This means we might miss our goal for the year.
Okay, the impact.
And finally, now what? You suggest the next step. Now what? I suggest we create a new marketing campaign.
What? So what? Now what? I like that. It's much better than trying to memorize a perfect script, which just makes me more anxious.
Right. Structure gives you confidence, and a simple, clear message is always more powerful than a complicated, confusing one.
Now, there's one last thing I want to ask about. It's for people who speak more than one language.
Okay.
Sometimes when I'm thinking, my native language and English get mixed together. Is that a bad thing?
Not at all. This is completely normal. It's called your linguistic repertoire.
My linguistic repertoire.
Yes. It's an asset, not a problem. You have more tools to think with, so I shouldn't try to stop it.
No, you should use it. You can use a strategy called bilingual brainstorming.
How's that work?
Step 1. When you need to be creative and think of new ideas, let your brain work fast. Let it mix languages.
So just get the ideas down on paper in any language.
Exactly. Then, for step 2, you deliberately translate your best ideas into clear English for your listener.
So you use your native language as a bridge to English.
Yes. Don't fight your brain. Work with it. You have a bilingual brain, so use all of it.
This has been so helpful. It feels like a much calmer, more intelligent way to approach learning.
It is. It's about understanding how your brain works and using that knowledge.
Let's do a quick summary of what we've talked about.
That's good.
To summarize today's lesson, first, be an active learner by connecting new words to what you already know. Second, create immersion at home. You do not need to travel to be fluent. Third, focus on your message, not on being perfect. Finally, remember that feeling uncomfortable means you are growing.
That covers it perfectly.
Now, let's take a moment to review some of the key vocabulary we used today. We'll call this our vocabulary word tour.
I like that.
I will say the word, and you can give us a simple definition, then I'll give an example sentence.
Ready. Cognitive. Related to thinking and understanding.
Puzzles and reading are good cognitive exercises for your brain. Schema.
A mental pattern or framework that helps us organize information.
Learning the word restaurant fits into your existing schema of food and eating. Immersion.
Surrounding yourself completely with a language.
She created immersion by only watching movies in English. Perfectionism.
The desire to be perfect and the fear of making any mistakes.
His perfectionism stopped him from speaking because he was afraid of being wrong. Vicious loop.
A bad situation where one problem causes another problem, which makes the first problem worse.
Losing sleep and feeling stressed can become a vicious loop. Imposter.
A person who feels like they are pretending to be someone else or feels like a fraud.
Even though he was the manager, he felt like an imposter in the meeting.
Repertoire. All the skills or languages a person can use.
He has a large repertoire of songs he can play on the guitar. Strategic.
Done as part of a careful plan to achieve a goal.
She was strategic about learning English, focusing only on words she used at work. Proficiency.
high skill or ability in doing something.
Her proficiency in English improved after practicing every day. Context.
The situation in which something happens that helps you understand it.
It is easier to understand new words when you see them in the context of a story. That's it for today. Remember, every minute you spend listening is a step closer to fluency. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe and join our learning community. Before you go, I have a challenge for you. Write one new word you learned today in the comment field below. I will see you at our next episode at SteadyStep English.